From London's trendy cafes to Manchester's creative districts, the UK TikTok scene has produced some of the most magnetic male creators on the platform. But while they're serving looks, lifestyle content, and absolutely iconic energy, some truths remain beautifully unspoken. Welcome back to Rainbow Spotlight, where we decode the signals that speak louder than words. Today we're counting down 5 UK TikTok boys whose energy is so unmistakably queer that their comment sections have become a safe haven for thirsty fans and speculation theories. These aren't your typical coming-out stories. These are the creators who've built massive followings while keeping their most personal truths elegantly mysterious. From fashion-forward Londoners to soft-spoken content creators up north, each story proves that sometimes the most authentic content comes from what's felt rather than what's explicitly stated. Number 2's recent style evolution has British teens questioning everything, and number 1? His energy is so undeniably gay that even straight lads are sliding into his comments asking for style tips. Drop a UK flag if you've ever felt that unmistakable energy through your phone screen, because what we're about to reveal proves that authenticity transcends words, especially when you're this gorgeous. Subscribe to Rainbow Spotlight because, honey, this British countdown is about to serve you the tea you didn't know you needed. Luca, the London fashion king who rules without a crown. When Luca first started posting fashion content as at Surfaceland, he seemed destined to become just another London streetwear account. Good looks, decent style sense, and the kind of aesthetic that performs well with Gen Z audiences. Here was a 22-year-old creative who could curate looks that made Fashion Week attendees jealous, collaborate with ASOS, H&M, and emerging ethical brands, and build a following that hangs on his every styling choice. His TikTok content consistently trends in UK fashion circles. His Instagram aesthetic reads like a gallery exhibition, and his cultural commentary about style and identity resonates with young Brits navigating their own self-expression. Yet for all his visibility and influence, Luca radiates an energy that suggests his most authentic self might be the one we glimpse between outfit changes and styling tutorials. The numbers speak to undeniable influence. 850K TikTok followers who treat his posts like style scripture, brand partnerships with luxury companies seeking authentic Gen Z appeal, and YouTube content that dives deeper into fashion trends with intellectual sophistication. Fellow creators like Chloe Rose have called him effortlessly cool in ways you can't fake, while brand executives consistently praise his intuitive understanding of contemporary masculinity. But Luca himself has always been philosophical about style and identity. Fashion isn't just about clothes, it's about having the courage to show the world who you are, even the parts of yourself you're still discovering. It's a perspective that seems to guide both his creative choices and his approach to public life. What makes Luca's energy so captivating is how naturally he blends traditional masculine style with subtle boundary-pushing choices that feel both editorial and accessible. His TikTok content increasingly features experimental silhouettes, jewelry combinations, and styling decisions that challenge conventional menswear while remaining commercially appealing. His collaboration with emerging queer designers has resulted in looks that feel more like artistic statements than typical influencer content. His recent Pride Month series about queer history and fashion generated massive engagement and revealed someone deeply knowledgeable about LGBTQ plus contributions to style culture. The internet has become fascinated by Luca's approach to masculinity and artistic expression through fashion choices. His comment sections are filled with fans praising not just his looks, but his energy descriptions like main character energy, art gallery boyfriend vibes, and the kind of confidence I wish I had appear consistently. His styling tutorials often include philosophical observations about self-expression and authentic identity that feel more like therapy sessions than fashion content. Style is just another language for telling people who you are inside, he reflected in a recent video. Why would you limit yourself to vocabulary that belongs to someone else? What's most compelling is how Luca has used his fashion platform to create educational content about queer history, artistic expression, and authentic self-presentation while maintaining mainstream commercial appeal. His brand partnerships show clear preference for companies that support diverse representation and ethical production. His upcoming documentary series about London's queer fashion history promises to showcase his intellectual depth alongside his aesthetic sensibilities. The most telling aspect of Luca's content is his gravitational pull toward artistic collaborations, queer creative projects, and discussions about authentic identity that extend far beyond typical fashion influencer territory. His friendship dynamics with other creators, his choice of photographers and collaborators, and his comfort with gender-fluid styling create a consistent pattern that speaks louder than any official statement. Whether through his boundary-pushing fashion choices, his thoughtful cultural commentary, or simply his magnetic presence that makes every outfit feel like a statement about living authentically, Luca represents something powerful about contemporary UK creativity, proof that sometimes the most beautiful truth is the one expressed through art, style, and the courage to exist exactly as you are. Drop a 1 if Luca's fashion-forward authenticity makes you believe that the most attractive thing about anyone is their courage to dress their truth, even when they're still discovering what that truth looks like. Adam Blythe, the creative director. Living his aesthetic. When Adam Blythe started creating content as at Third Floor, he seemed positioned to become another lifestyle creator in London's competitive digital landscape. Here was a 26-year-old creative with an eye for interior design who could transform ordinary spaces into Instagram-worthy environments, collaborate with home decor brands, and build an audience that trusted his aesthetic judgment completely. His 3.8 million TikTok followers treat his design advice like gospel. His home transformation videos consistently go viral, and his creative direction work extends far beyond social media into commercial projects with major British brands. Yet there's something about Adam's presentation, his energy, and his approach to lifestyle content that has fans reading between the lines of every carefully curated post. The influence is undeniable. Multi-million-pound brand partnerships with luxury home goods companies, features in British design magazines, and creative direction work for high-profile commercial campaigns. Industry professionals consistently describe him as having impeccable taste that transcends trends, while fellow creators praise his natural ability to make everything beautiful without trying too hard. But Adam himself has always been thoughtful about authenticity in creative work. The most beautiful spaces are the ones that reflect who you actually are, not who you think you should be. That kind of honesty takes courage, both in design and in life. It's a philosophy that seems to extend beyond interior design into every aspect of his carefully constructed public persona. What makes Adam's energy so magnetic is how effortlessly he embodies a kind of sophisticated masculinity that feels both approachable and aspirational. His TikTok content showcases not just design skills, but an aesthetic sensibility that runs deeper than surface-level trends. His home styling videos often feature fresh flowers, candles, artistic photography, and design choices that suggest someone who values beauty and comfort in ways that feel genuinely personal rather than performatively masculine. His collaboration with emerging artists and queer designers has resulted in content that feels more like art curation than typical influencer promotion. The internet has become captivated by Adam's approach to lifestyle content and the energy he brings to every creative project. His comment sections are filled with observations like house husband energy, the aesthetic I'm trying to achieve, and main character living. His behind-the-scenes content reveals someone who approaches every detail with artistic consideration and genuine care for creating beautiful environments. His recent series about creating safe spaces generated massive positive engagement and revealed someone deeply thoughtful about the emotional impact of design choices. What's most compelling is how Adam has used his design platform to showcase diverse artists, emerging creators, and brands that prioritize authentic representation while building his own commercial success. His choice of collaborators shows consistent support for LGBTQ+ owned businesses and artists who challenge traditional aesthetic boundaries. His upcoming design book promises to explore themes of authentic self-expression through space creation with the intellectual depth that has become his trademark. The most telling aspect of Adam's trajectory is his gravitational pull toward artistic projects that prioritize meaning over commercial appeal. His photography work, his creative direction choices, and his approach to lifestyle content consistently showcase someone more interested in authentic beauty than algorithmic success. Industry observers note his comfort with discussing topics like mental health, authentic living, and the importance of creating spaces where people can be themselves completely. Whether through his stunning design work, his thoughtful approach to creative collaboration, or simply his magnetic presence that makes every space feel more beautiful and welcoming, Adam represents something significant about contemporary UK creativity. Proof that authentic artistic vision combined with genuine care for others' well-being creates the kind of influence that transcends typical social media metrics. Drop a 2 if Adam's creative authenticity makes you believe that the most beautiful spaces are created by people who understand that design is really about making room for everyone to be themselves. Kyle Thomas, the animal whisperer with a gentle soul. When Kyle Thomas first started creating pet content on TikTok, he seemed destined to occupy a comfortable niche in the animal lover corner of the platform. Cute pets, educational facts, and the kind of wholesome content that parents love sharing with their children. Here was a 24-year-old creator who could make millions of viewers fall in love with exotic rescued animals, partner with UK wildlife charities, and launch educational documentary series that actually teach while they entertain. His content consistently trends in family-friendly circles. His advocacy work has resulted in real fundraising success for animal welfare organizations, and his gentle approach to education has made him one of the most trusted voices among Gen Z families. But there's something about Kyle's energy, his presentation, and his approach to masculinity that has quietly made him an unexpected icon for viewers seeking authentic softness in a digital landscape often dominated by performance and aggression. The impact numbers tell the story. 2.1 million TikTok followers who trust his animal expertise completely. Successful fundraising campaigns that have raised hundreds of thousands for wildlife conservation. And educational partnerships with major UK charities that recognize his genuine commitment to animal welfare. David Attenborough's production team has praised his natural ability to connect with both animals and audiences, while wildlife conservation organizations consistently describe him as authentically passionate in ways you can't manufacture. But Kyle himself has always been humble about his influence. I think animals respond to genuine care and patience. Maybe that's what people are responding to too, just someone being real and gentle in a world that often rewards the opposite. It's a perspective that seems to guide both his content creation and his approach to public life. What makes Kyle's energy so endearing is how naturally he embodies a kind of nurturing masculinity that feels both refreshing and revolutionary. His TikTok videos showcase not just animal expertise, but an emotional intelligence and gentleness that runs counter to traditional masculine presentation. His interactions with animals reveal someone deeply empathetic, patient, and comfortable with vulnerability. His educational content often includes personal stories about rescue experiences and emotional connections with animals that feel genuinely moving, rather than performatively sentimental. The internet has become fascinated by Kyle's authentic approach to masculine presentation and his comfort with emotional expression. His comment sections are filled with appreciation for his soft energy, healing presence, and the kind of boyfriend energy every girl wants. His collaboration with other creators reveals someone who leads with kindness and genuine interest in others rather than competition or ego. His recent series about animal therapy generated massive positive engagement and showcased someone deeply knowledgeable about emotional healing and the importance of gentle care. What's most compelling is how Kyle has used his animal platform to create educational content about compassion, emotional intelligence, and authentic masculinity, while building genuine positive impact for wildlife conservation. His choice of partnerships shows clear preference for organizations that prioritize ethical treatment and authentic care over profit. His upcoming children's book series about emotional intelligence through animal care promises to extend his influence into educational spaces that desperately need positive masculine role models. The most remarkable aspect of Kyle's influence is how he's proven that gentleness and emotional intelligence can be both commercially successful and culturally significant. His approach to masculinity, feels like a template for authentic male presentation that prioritizes care and empathy over dominance and performance. Industry observers note his gravitational pull toward projects that prioritize healing, education, and genuine positive impact over viral success or commercial gain. Whether through his devoted animal care, his educational advocacy work, or simply his gentle presence that makes every interaction feel safer and more authentic, Kyle represents something hopeful about contemporary UK masculinity. Proof that the most attractive male energy comes from genuine care, emotional availability, and the courage to be soft in a world that often rewards hardness. Drop a 3 if Kyle's gentle authenticity makes you believe that the most powerful masculine energy is the kind that makes everyone feel safer, more cared for, and more understood. Richard Sales, the lifestyle king who makes everything look effortless. When Richard Sales first gained TikTok attention, he seemed perfectly positioned to become another generic lifestyle creator in London's saturated content landscape. Here was a 28-year-old with good looks who could deliver DIY tutorials, lifestyle hacks, and viral content with the kind of polish that suggested professional media training. His 9.2 million TikTok followers made him one of the UK's most followed male creators. His brand partnerships with companies like HyperOptic demonstrated serious commercial appeal, and his diverse content ranging from furniture restoration to food tutorials proved his versatility across demographics. But somewhere in his carefully curated content library, sharp-eyed fans began noticing details that suggested Richard's most authentic self might be the one glimpsed between home makeover projects and lifestyle optimization videos. The statistics speak to unprecedented influence. Hundreds of millions of total views across his content library, high-profile brand partnerships that recognize his mainstream appeal, and engagement rates that consistently outperform creators with similar follower counts. Industry professionals describe his content as effortlessly polished with authentic relatability, while fellow creators praise his natural ability to make complex projects feel achievable. But Richard himself has always been thoughtful about the performance aspect of content creation. I think the best lifestyle content comes from actually living the life you're sharing, not just performing it for cameras. People can sense when something's genuine versus when it's just good production value. It's a philosophy that seems to guide his increasingly sophisticated approach to both content and personal presentation. What makes Richard's energy so intriguing is how naturally he's evolved from basic lifestyle content toward more artistic and aesthetically sophisticated projects. His recent TikTok series feature home styling projects with artistic photography, carefully chosen color palettes, and design decisions that feel more editorial than functional. His collaboration with emerging designers and independent artists has resulted in content that showcases someone with genuine aesthetic intelligence rather than just viral instincts. His apartment tours and styling videos reveal spaces curated with the kind of attention to beauty and personal expression that suggests someone deeply thoughtful about visual storytelling. The internet has become particularly fascinated by Richard's fashion evolution and his approach to masculine presentation. His outfit styling videos increasingly feature experimental accessories, artistic photography, and fashion choices that push boundaries while maintaining mainstream appeal. His comment sections are filled with observations about his main character energy, artistic boyfriend vibes, and the aesthetic confidence I wish I had. His recent collaboration with luxury brands has showcased his comfort with high-fashion styling and gender-fluid accessories that feel authentic rather than performative. What's most compelling is how Richard has used his massive platform to showcase diverse creators, independent artists, and brands that prioritize authentic representation alongside his commercial success. His choice of collaborators shows increasing preference for LGBTQ plus owned businesses and artists who challenge traditional lifestyle boundaries. His upcoming home design book promises to explore themes of authentic self-expression through space creation with the intellectual depth that has become his signature. The most telling aspect of Richard's trajectory is his gravitational pull toward creative projects that prioritize artistic integrity over algorithmic optimization. His photography work, his design choices, and his approach to lifestyle content increasingly showcase someone more interested in meaningful beauty than viral metrics. Industry observers note his evolution toward discussing topics like mental health, authentic living, and the importance of creating spaces where people can express themselves fully. Whether through his stunning lifestyle content, his thoughtful approach to design and aesthetics, or simply his magnetic presence that makes every project feel both aspirational and achievable, Richard represents something significant about contemporary UK content creation. Proof that authentic artistic vision combined with genuine care for audience well-being creates influence that transcends typical social media success. Drop a 4 if Richard's lifestyle authenticity makes you believe that the most beautiful content comes from people who understand that sharing your life means sharing your truth, even the parts you're still discovering. Josh, the creative soul who speaks in art. When Josh first started creating content as at Joshlfgot, he seemed destined to remain in the thoughtful, artistic corner of TikTok, the kind of creator who prioritizes meaningful content over viral trends and attracts audiences seeking substance over spectacle. Here was a 25-year-old creative who could blend visual artistry, thoughtful commentary, and authentic self-expression in ways that felt more like independent film than typical social media content. His follower count might not reach the millions of mainstream creators, but his engagement rates and community loyalty demonstrate the kind of authentic influence that translates into real cultural impact. Throughout 2025, Josh has evolved from niche artist to unexpected icon for viewers seeking authentic representation and artistic excellence in the often superficial landscape of social media. The influence speaks for itself. Consistent viral moments that generate meaningful cultural conversation, collaborations with established LGBTQ+ organizations that recognize his authentic voice, and brand partnerships with art-focused companies that value genuine creativity over mass appeal. Fellow creators consistently describe him as ahead of his time with authentic artistic vision, while LGBTQ+ advocates praise his natural ability to create content that educates while it entertains. But Josh himself has always been philosophical about influence and authenticity. I think the most powerful content comes from people who aren't afraid to be vulnerable, to share their truth even when it's messy or complicated. Art should reflect real human experience, not just the parts that perform well. It's a perspective that has guided his evolution from creative hobbyist to respected voice in UK LGBTQ+ digital culture. What makes Josh's energy so compelling is how effortlessly he blends artistic sophistication with accessible vulnerability. His TikTok content often features original photography, thoughtful writing, artistic collaborations, and personal storytelling that feels more like gallery exhibition than social media performance. His visual aesthetic consistently showcases artistic intelligence, cultural awareness, and creative choices that suggest someone deeply educated about queer history, artistic movements, and authentic representation. His collaboration with other LGBTQ+ creators has resulted in content that feels both personally meaningful and culturally significant. The internet has embraced Josh's intellectual approach to content creation and his comfort with discussing complex topics about identity, authenticity, and artistic expression. His comment sections feature thoughtful discussions about queer theory, artistic interpretation, and authentic self-expression that feel more like university seminars than typical social media engagement. His long-form content reveals someone who has done serious personal work around identity and authentic living, and his willingness to share that journey feels both educational and inspiring. What's most remarkable is how Josh has used his artistic platform to create educational content about LGBTQ+ history, queer theory, and authentic representation while building genuine community among young LGBTQ+ people seeking intellectual engagement with their identity exploration. His choice of projects shows clear commitment to meaningful storytelling and positive cultural impact rather than commercial success. His upcoming art exhibition about queer identity in digital spaces promises to showcase his academic depth alongside his artistic talents. The most powerful aspect of Josh's influence is how he's proven that authentic artistic expression can create meaningful community and cultural impact even without massive commercial success. His approach to content creation prioritizes substance over style, meaning over metrics, and authentic connection over algorithmic optimization. Industry observers note his influence on other creators who are increasingly prioritizing authenticity and meaningful engagement over viral success. Whether through his stunning artistic work, his thoughtful educational content, or simply his courage to exist authentically in digital spaces often hostile to difference, Josh represents something vital about contemporary UK LGBTQ+ culture, proof that the most powerful influence comes from genuine authenticity, artistic integrity, and the courage to create content that reflects the full complexity of human experience. Drop a 5 if Josh's artistic authenticity proves that the most beautiful content is created by people brave enough to share their complete truth through art, vulnerability, and the courage to exist exactly as they are. From Luca's fashion-forward authenticity to Adam's creative sophistication, from Kyle's gentle soul to Richard's lifestyle artistry, and Josh's intellectual depth, these 5 UK TikTok creators prove that the most magnetic energy doesn't need labels or announcements. Each story reminds us that authenticity shines through in aesthetic choices, creative collaborations, and the courage to exist beautifully without explanation. These aren't just content creators. They're artists, advocates, and authentic voices who've built loyal communities by refusing to dim their light for algorithmic approval. Whether through boundary-pushing fashion, gentle masculinity, artistic integrity, or simply the courage to be soft in a hard digital world, each creator has redefined what UK TikTok success looks like when it's built on truth instead of trends. Which creator's energy resonated most with your own journey? Drop your numbers 1 through 5 and tell us where you're watching from, because these stories are reshaping what authentic masculine presentation looks like in 2025. If you believe the most attractive energy comes from people brave enough to be completely themselves, smash that like button. Subscribe to Rainbow Spotlight for more celebrations of creators who choose authenticity over approval. Remember, in a world of manufactured content and calculated personas, sometimes the most revolutionary act is simply existing beautifully as exactly who you are. No announcements necessary. This is Rainbow Spotlight, where authentic energy always speaks louder than words.